Forbes calls him the world's most powerful man. Some suspect he may also be the wealthiest. And he's putting every possible resource to work in Sochi. These games are far and away the most expensive ever. As we've reported, they threaten to be the most dangerous. And Putin has been on the defensive over Russia's anti-gay propaganda laws. He's also been on something of a charm offensive, pardoning high-profile political prisoners, reaching out to sell these games, and giving us his first American broadcast interview in years. Make or break time for Vladimir Putin, a unique chance to showcase his country.
I would very much like, during the Olympics, for the athletes, visitors, reporters, and those who will follow the Olympics on TV through the media, for people to see a new Russia.
It all began with a personal pitch.
It is a great honor for me to address you today and to present the bid of Sochi to host the Olympic Winter Games in 2014.
Putin even speaking English to sell the International Olympic Committee on Sochi.
Real snows guaranteed.
And just 7 years later, the changes here are stunning. Take Sochi's incredible transformation from sleepy resort town to a virtual security state. 80,000 troops, drones in the sky, missile defense systems, and a computer network monitoring every email and phone call. It's being called a ring of steel. Putin told me and my fellow anchors from Russia, China, and the UK that it will work.
The job of the Olympics host is to ensure security of the participants in the Olympics and visitors. We will do whatever it takes.
The United States State Department has issued a travel advisory for all Americans heading to Sochi, and some of the athletes have even set up their own evacuation plans, own private security teams. Is that necessary?
If someone believes that they should devise their own personal security plans, there is nothing wrong with that. However, it must be done in contact with the Olympics organizers and with our security services.
But after a string of terrorist attacks in other parts of Russia, the whole country is braced for a strike.
My guess is that if anything happens, it's not going to happen in Sochi. It's not going to happen inside the zone around Sochi. It'll happen in some city, whether it's Petersburg or Moscow or some small city in the outside. That's where more likely a terrorist attack could occur.
And are you concerned that with all the security here, the terrorists might choose to strike in other parts of Russia?
We have adequate means available to us through the Federal Security Service, the Interior Ministry, armed forces units that will be involved in providing security on the water and in the air. If necessary, all those tools will be activated.
Will all this security kill the joy, turning Sochi into what one critic called the Gulag Olympics?
We would try and make sure that security measures don't jump at you, are not in your face, do not put pressure on the athletes and visitors or reporters.
Putin is also pitching here for better ties to the U.S., relations strained by a series of confrontations, including that grant of asylum to NSA leaker Edward Snowden. So what do you say to Americans who see Russia and you not only as a rival, but an unfriendly adversary?
Between major countries, there certainly always are some common ground and points of tension. With respect to athletes, I'd recommend and advise them not to think about the political differences. Politics should not interfere with sports, and sports should impact politics.
The most famous American in Russia right now is Edward Snowden. Is he invited to Sochi?
The most renowned American in Russia now is Barack Obama. Everybody is invited. Mr. Snowden is subject to the treatment of provisional asylum here in Russia. He has a right to travel freely across the country. He has no special limitation. He can just buy a ticket and come here.
And stay as long as he wants?
Yes, sure, definitely.
Whoever comes to Sochi will find a city still under construction, and it is costing a fortune. Lots of questions also here about corruptions and the unbelievable cost. These Olympics are going to cost far and away more than any other ever.
Well, one official estimate was that it would be $51 billion. A lot of people say it's in fact gone up since then, so it could even be higher. I mean, the fact is we don't really know the exact number.
More than $8 billion for this one road, eclipsing the entire cost of the last Winter Olympics. Organizers are even spending on extra snow, insurance against Sochi's subtropical climate.
Putin himself said, "I guarantee there will be snow."
Guarantee?
So they built a snow guarantee system, which is pretty routine. at most ski resorts, but the ones here are about the most expensive anywhere in the world.
Critics say that extravagant spending is triggering excessive corruption. A Swiss member of the International Olympic Committee has said that the corruption problem has actually been massive. He said it's an everyday matter, up to $18 billion embezzled. Is he right, and what can be done about it?
No, not true. First of all, the Swiss man didn't say that. I do appreciate that it's reporters' job to always try and get sexy subjects to be talked about. Our law enforcement agencies have been working in this area. So far, we are not seeing any major, large-scale manifestations of corruption as part of the implementation of the Sochi project.
These are Putin's games. You've put so much into these Olympics going back to 2007. So I wonder now, how do you define success in Sochi, and is your personal honor and reputation at stake?
No. You see, I want it to be a success for this nation. What's first and foremost for us, and I've already said that we are hosting these Olympics so that millions of sports fans the world over will feel this celebration, even though they are thousands or hundreds of kilometers away from Sochi. It won't be my personal success. That success will belong to this country, and I hope the success will come true.
I was just wondering, do you care to make a friendly bet with President Obama on which country is going to win more medals, the U.S. or Russia?
No, of course not. We never make such bets. Barack is a huge sports fan, and I can see it. He's in terrific shape and gives it enough of his attention, not just to playing sports, but also to promoting sports. We wish success to our U.S. friends, U.S. athletes. As far as medals, those too are an important element of any sports event, including Olympics. What is even more important to me is to see that our national team is capable, effective, and holds promise.